Yes, we'll be back from that break. It's exactly, that is 8 minutes past 9. You're still watching Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Bariji, and as we're heading into our business insight. Now, like we say today, we are, of course, focusing on the night economy, and we've been seeing in our recent update regarding matters to do with the different East African countries, and we saw that actually Uganda comes number second amongst those countries in East Africa that have the best night economy. We saw Kenya's night economy. Last year, it generated 7.2 million US dollars, and Uganda 3.6 million US dollars. So there is quite a huge difference of about 4 million US dollars from that perspective. Well, but of course, as we break down these matters on Uganda's scene, and of course, I have a guest on set with me, and he's a prominent musician. He's been in the industry for some time. He's a mogul. He's a music prodigy, and somebody that has been really experienced, and that is Daniel Kazibwe, or majority of you know as Ragadi, and is actually currently also in the PSFU, the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, of course, representing the personalities with performance, and matters to do with arts performance. So he has taken it to that generation, from that other level, from just being a musician to being somebody of influence, and to the coming generations. Well, Mr. Kazibwe, you're very welcome on the show. Very good morning.
Thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome. And yeah, like we see the night economy in Uganda. Kenya generated 7.2 million US dollars last year from the night economy. Uganda just 3.6 million US dollars. Now, maybe you could give us an insight of the evolution of Uganda's nightlife and entertainment over the past years.
Over the years, in the late 80s, it was difficult because there was a lot of insecurity. And there was curfew all the time. So towards the 84s, 89s, night was closed.
Yeah.
We used to go for parties during the day.
Oh, okay. During day was when the parties
there were clubs like Echoes that used to work during the day. But right after 1986, the night economy opened up.
After 86? Oh, yes.
So there were clubs that would never close. Als Bar, Capital Pub, Angenoa. These are places where people would go all day in, all day out. And there was no difference between night and day.
Okay.
So I think things changed between 1986, then went on increasing the numbers in the 90s, the 2000s, then lowered in the COVID time.
The COVID time.
Yes. But steadily grown and has made a lot of money. But it is not looked at as one of the most important because of our culture.
So we don't respect.
Yes, because of our culture. And I've worked a bit in London and America. If you are working night, you earn $1 more.
Than somebody working day.
So in Uganda, if you tell someone you're going to be working in the night, he will go like, $8. So at the end of the day, I think it's the culture also. Where people have the best way of traveling is at night. The best way of industrialization, like the big industries, they work in the night.
In the night,
because they sell things during the day, dispatch them during the day. So at the end of the day, is the culture has to grow. It has to grow. Now, if you look at Kenya, Kenya has a lot of people that come from everywhere.
From other parts of the world, exactly. Yes.
And that's why, because it has a port, and you don't want traffic, you can use the port during the day and the night. So most people travel during the night. You can see the buses travel during the night. The lorries, cargo lorries travel during the night. So Uganda is developing that culture. Because if you look at most of the biggest taxpayers in Uganda today, breweries, what do they sell? They sell booze. And the booze is taken by people in the club.
In the clubs at the night.
The fourth is Uganda breweries. So that means they're selling something that is consumed during the night.
During the night.
So the economy moves that way. And what I would call the lag in that kind of economy is the time they're trying to play with. You see, now the time of the shows in Kampala is
11 p.m.
Yes, but the time of the shows in Nairobi is still morning.
Morning?
Yes.
Okay.
So that means if you tell people to leave at 11, there's business left out.
But don't you think the 11 perspective has just started after the COVID-19? Because people we still have this perspective of...
it was there before.
11.
During the days of Jennifer Musi, if you did a show and you went past 11, you would pay a fine.
Pay a fine, okay.
So that means people would not go past midnight.
Midnight, okay.
That has an effect on the economy. Because now, you saw what happened recently where we had the Shiba
and Cindy battle
show, which went until 2 o'clock.
It really went for some time, by the way.
So
yes.
the people drank, they ate, they traveled. So that's how the money is made. So the border rider, the taxi driver, the Ubers and the rest, they are making money at the time. So that means there is less congestion. In the night, you don't get a lot of traffic.
In the night, yeah, true.
So that means if you take a person to Bogolobi, it will be very easy for you to get to Bogolobi, get back.
Come back, pick another one.
You're making money
true.
in the night. And the ones drinking and the ones eating, when people are enjoying themselves, they eat and drink without looking at the time.
Very true.
So that means if they show until 2 o'clock, you are making money. Yes.
Very interesting. Well, now there is something that has been happening. I know you've been observing it. Currently, the aspect of battles that have been happening, because like what you've mentioned, the battle that we had last weekend, according to reports on ground, it made approximately $1.5 million US on average. And are we seeing the culture of battles? I mean, if we took the commercial side of it, don't you think it's very key and vital in terms of boosting up this night economy? Because it was massive, I mean, last...
not a battle as such. Let's call it a full-fledged concert.
A full-fledged concert? Okay.
Ugandans know how to enjoy themselves. If you set the right...
atmosphere.
Yes. The narrative should be, if they're going to enjoy, and they're going to enjoy professionally, they support. So if we supported the industry, the Ugandans have the money to spend. The artists have the art to prove.
To prove, true.
But it needs some financial help to make these things work. Now you saw what happened to that Cindy Shiba battle. It was sponsored by a university.
A university,
that has money. Supposing it was sponsored by a single promoter, it would be difficult. It wouldn't be promoted to that extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't be set to that extent to have the gigantic stage, the sound, the seating capacity, and how everything was set up. And the venue itself, the venue is expensive. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is what we call for the government to help. Other economies that have grown, they have really utilized the creative sector.
Okay.
Because the creative sector does not need me to go to school to have a master's to entertain people.
It's inborn.
If I have a talent and I have a promoter and I have a publisher, I have a recorder and a promoter, I do the show. But at the end of the day, so many youth today have embedded into this creative sector. But the world is not looking. Those that are not educated, those that are not skilled, those that are not trained but have a talent, have been there.
Okay.
You've just seen what's happening to the likes of Eddie Kenzo's, how they came, the likes of the Grenade Official, the likes of Iron Skill. I mean, there's growth, and there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of potential to employ the youth.
The youth. But
I think it's a mindset.
I actually, when you say mindset, I was reading a report and some people were saying that most of the participants, a big number of the participants in the night economy, they are rendered unemployed, like people who are just looking, who are just idle. And somebody can borrow money to go and spend money in the club.
Yes, because the reality is the night economy does the opposite of the reality. A person may have a boutique and he makes a profit of 20,000, but goes to the bar and he drinks 80,000. So exactly. that means there's so many enticements, there's so many things that
to spend money.
At night, border becomes expensive more than the daytime because of the time you're traveling.
The time true.
But it would be cheaper because there's no traffic. But now, the opposite of everything, if we closely took a sharp, I call it a sharp look at the night economy, Uganda would grow quick.
Okay.
Why? Because during the day, Kampala has 3.5 million people.
Yeah, that are busy moving within.
And in the night, it has 2 million people.
2.5 versus 2 million.
Yes. Now, people go to Wakiso, they go to other areas where they live. So they've left the city. That's why you don't see traffic in the night.
In the night.
Now, if those people stayed in the city to help the guys that work in the office to buy clothes during the night, it will do better business.
Absolutely.
If you know that you're working during the day at the station, and in the night, instead of sleeping, you go and you do your shopping, that could be cool.
Good.
You'd have spaced your timing during the day.
Yeah, because some people actually fear the congestion that happens during the day.
I'll tell you, I buy food for my house in Chibuye Market during the night.
At night? Like at
yes, because there are not many people. You get a better price. Get good parking. And you get the food that you want. So during the day, it is difficult. There's traffic on the road. There's poor parking. There's everyone in the market. So at the end of the day, if we change the culture a bit and say, you know what, the people selling clothes can work at night. The clubs will work at night. The food will work at night. The economy will change quick.
Maybe a quick one. Being a part of the private sector foundation, now you represent people with arts, with talent. The creatives. Do you think there are ways we can diversify activities for the night economy?
Yes.
We will need more broader, like how Kenya is like.
But I've told this about mindset. Is a studio would work better in the night when everything is quiet.
Perfect.
A club would work better in the night because people feel like, you know what, instead of sleeping, let me go out. These cocktail bars, the lounges, but it's up to who says what we have to do. Because it is in the mind that someone says, you know what, it is too late, I need to go home.
True.
Then the others say it is too early, we start. So that's what I've told you. In the late 80s, we had clubs in Kampala like Al's Bar or Capital Pub, or Angenois, that even didn't have a door to close.
Okay.
So that means when the tourists come to this country, they don't have time to stay in this country. So they utilize all the time they're in this country. That's why in the night, if you go to Acacia, you'll find, you may call it Europe.
Europe. A number of whites there shopping.
So, but because the nightlife in Uganda, actually, Uganda is one of the happiest nations in Africa. And Uganda is ranked, I think, number 4 or 5 in the people who take booze.
Actually,
now I'm trying to tell you how things happen.
Yeah.
And this is a happy nation where it is true that even if you find a person who is poor and totally broke, they cannot fail to enjoy themselves.
And they can't sleep hungry.
Yes, no, the food, there's food everywhere.
Yeah.
And the food is not very expensive. People can eat all kinds of food depending on what their pocket says. So the nightlife of this country can be changed by the mindset.
By my mindset.
Yes, because sometimes the unemployed people would do construction service during the night.
Okay. They
There's
can be labor.
There's a way I'm looking at things. The potholes can be fixed during the night.
During the night.
But they want to fix the potholes during the day when there's traffic.
Actually, that even increases the traffic.
Yes.
Father.
The car washes would work during the night. You put a light and you do a car wash that works during the night. That's what they do in America. That's what they do in London. That's what they do in Russia. Because there's no time to waste. But now the time to waste is, oh, my car is dirty, I'll wash it in the morning. But in the morning you have a meeting.
A meeting.
So if you wash it in the night, you'll lose nothing. You'll be sleeping and then washing your car.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, very interesting insight in here, and of course something he has noted, that the night economy in Uganda can actually be transformed by the mindset change among us. And the Ugandans, I think starting in all the way from the policy makers. But of course, as we get into this break, when we return, we shall be, of course, pondering further on that discussion. But of course, still to remind you that all this is powered by Zabu, which is a platform from Altex, which has made your trading experience much more easy and friendly. Now, here you can buy government bonds and securities for a fee of just 15,000 Ugandan shillings. The markets, as I speak right now, they already open. They open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and run all the way. That is to 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time. And this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends or the public holidays when those markets are not in use. Of course, they're taking a break now. Like today is the last day of the week for these markets to participate. So this is the time for the money to work for you. You don't work for the money. Yes, Zabu made this a reality, and this is regardless of where you're located, whether you are uptown, downtown, whether you're in east, west, south, as long as you're there, *292#, and also regardless whether you have a smartphone or a button phone, you can still buy these bonds and securities. And that's why Zabu confidently comes out and tells you that it's my money, it's my future, and Altex East Africa tells you that, well, you got to do something new for yourself. Remember, it is 2023. Well, now we take a short break. And of course, we shall be returning to wind this up. I'm still with Daniel Kazibwe, of course, a prominent musician, very experienced, what majority of you know as a Ragadi. We shall be returning with further after the break.